6 WNBA networks set ratings records this season, all Caitlyn Clark. 23 WNBA games drew more than 1 million viewers. Clark played in 20 of them.
The crowd was restless, the air electric, but no one knew why. Then, without warning, it happened.
Caitlyn Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlyn Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the entire WNBA.
A deafening roar erupted through the arena as the scoreboard flashed a number no one thought possible. Another record gone. Another milestone obliterated. And at the heart of it all stood Caitlyn Clark, stone-faced, locked in, like she had done it 1,000 times before.
If I was the WNBA, I would have considered a separate television package to a network on just Caitlyn Clark games. I would have had two packages, the WNBA package, and then a separate, let's say, 15 to 18 game Caitlyn Clark package.
No celebration, no theatrics, just pure domination. Moments later, the announcement hit. The Indiana Fever had become the #1 team in the United States.
Whether you like the Indiana Fever or not, whether you like Caitlyn Clark or not, it has gotten to the point where we can no longer deny the fact that they are the biggest draw in the WNBA, and they proved that all of last season.
Fans erupted. Opponents froze. The league silenced. What just happened wasn't luck. It wasn't hype. It was a seismic shift. And there's no going back now. Just months ago, the Indiana Fever were barely a blip on the national radar. A team with history, yes, but no momentum, no buzz, no spark.
How the Atlanta Dream owner said that they were moving venues only because of a scheduling conflict. It wasn't because the Indiana Fever were coming in town. Like, they made up some weird excuse. Boycott watching the Indiana Fever games. You are only doing that if you don't care about anyone else.
Their games were quiet, their headlines scarce, and their fan base scattered. Then came one name, Caitlyn Clark, and everything changed. What happened next wasn't gradual. It was a full-blown explosion. Attendance skyrocketed. Merchandise flew off the shelves. And then came the biggest shift of all, visibility.
The Liberty and Aces, they're going to clash here 3 times. All 3 of those are on ABC and ESPN. The Fever and the Sky, they meet 5 times. Caitlyn Clark, the revamped Fever, they look to build on their success.
There have been 6 teams that have changed venues when the Indiana Fever come to play. All of these arenas are selling out.
Suddenly, a team that once struggled for airtime now has 41 of their 44 games broadcast on national television. That's not just impressive, that's unprecedented. No WNBA team in history has ever received that level of coverage. Not the defending champions, not the star-stacked franchises, just the Fever. Because of her. But this transformation isn't about exposure alone, it's about impact.
The recent news that 41 out of the 44 Indiana Fever games will be nationally televised. I do not think a lot of people are understanding just how big that is. That is something that the WNBA players, WNBA media, WNBA fans have been begging for so many years.
Clark didn't walk into the league with just a hot hand. She came in with a mission to change the way people view women's basketball. And she's doing it by force. Game after game, her performances keep climbing. Her stats are setting new league records. And her ability to draw eyes? That's something the WNBA has never seen before. One random Fever game last season pulled in over 2.2 million viewers, more than the WNBA Finals.
Broadcast this season, ooh-wee, big-time doubleheader. Angel Reese, Caitlyn Clark, they meet in the season opener.
Indiana Fever put this out. All eyes on us.
With such star power on those teams, it's really no surprise they're atop the list for the most games available for you to check out on a national scale.
Caitlyn Clark once again dominates WNBA national TV schedule.
The Fever, they lead the league with 41 games here, followed by the Aces 33, the champion Liberty at 32.
41 of our 44 games are on national television, the most television games in franchise history, the most national television games for a single team in WNBA history. I'm sure this is because of Angel Reese.
This isn't a fluke. It's a shift in gravity. When Caitlyn Clark plays, everything feels bigger. Cities she visits scramble to find bigger venues. Teams who face her see their own attendance numbers triple. The Fever's road games have become traveling events, with ticket prices soaring and arenas selling out weeks in advance.
We got an article from Front Office Sports. 6 WNBA teams have moved games versus Caitlyn Clark in the Fever. Atlanta Dream moved 1 game to the State Farm Arena. Chicago Sky moved 2 games. Connecticut Sun moved 1 game to TD Garden. Dallas Wings have moved 1 game to American Airlines Center. Las Vegas Aces have moved 1 game, and the Mystics have 2 games moved.
Chicago moved their matchups to the United Center. Dallas shifted games to the American Airlines Center. Atlanta upgraded to State Farm Arena. That's NBA-level demand for a WNBA rookie. Think about that. And it's not just the fans feeling the wave. Networks are cashing in too. ESPN, ABC, CBS, Prime Video. Every single one wants a piece of the Clark phenomenon. They're not airing her games as a favor. They're doing it because they know she delivers.
These networks are not thinking about hurting feelings. These networks are thinking about how much money can we bring in.
Viewers tune in, sponsors line up, revenues climb. But what's most telling? The impact stretches beyond the Fever. Every opponent she faces benefits. Teams that never saw national spotlight are now getting primetime exposure. Angel Reese's Chicago Sky, the Liberty, the Aces. Every one of them gets a boost from being on the same court as Clark. She's elevating the entire league, whether they admit it or not.
Give me Angel Reese, give me Caitlyn Clark, because this has been box office, y'all. The young guns, the young stars have come to play. Angel at Unrivaled, training with Lisa, Leslie, and Caitlyn. We all know that girl. She lives, breathes, eats, sleeps in the gym. So I am so excited to see that matchup, those two, because anytime they go up against each other, honestly, the whole world shuts down.
Yep.
Everything shuts down.
Yep.
And yet, despite all this momentum, one thing remains clear. Caitlyn Clark is just getting started. She's not here for the attention. She's here to dominate. She's not asking for spotlight. It follows her. And in the span of just 1 season, she's done what the WNBA has fought to do for decades. Make the league a cultural phenomenon. The Fever's rise isn't a coincidence. It's the result of a player who redefined what greatness looks like in women's sports.
Sigh, I missed the Unrivaled already. They're mad. Caitlyn Clark didn't play in that league. They want her out. They want you fans out of the league.
Angel Wilson's talking about sitting out for more money. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever, hey, we're putting every game on TV for Caitlyn Clark. Everybody wants to watch her.
This is the year that they want to do whatever they possibly can to show that they deserve more and also be profitable.
One of the worst WNBA fans and one of CC's biggest haters is already complaining. They don't like the game of basketball at all. They just want to support Reese. I've said the majority of her fans are not Hoops fans.
And now, with another record behind her and the Fever sitting at the top, the question isn't whether she can carry the league. It's who's going to try and stop her. While fans cheer and arenas sell out across the country, not everyone is celebrating. In fact, behind the success, a storm has been brewing, one filled with resentment, deflection, and outright denial. Because with every record Caitlyn Clark breaks, with every new headline the Indiana Fever dominate,
more people are getting on board. More people are watching women's basketball. More people are watching women's college basketball. Do not slow the momentum because of ego.
Caitlyn Clark draws massive viewership and other teams don't. Caitlyn Clark averaged about 1.2 million viewers per game, and the rest of the league about 400 to 500,000.
The critics grow louder, angrier, and more desperate to rewrite the narrative. They call it favoritism. They say the media is obsessed. They claim she's only popular because of things that have nothing to do with basketball.
With everyone trying to diminish the wave that was happening, the Clarkonomics that were happening, the Caitlyn Clark effect that was happening, and realizing it is not only going to be good for this Indiana Fever team, it's going to be great for everyone. It's going to be great for every single player in the WNBA and also every single team in the WNBA.
But here's the truth. They're not mad about the coverage. They're mad about the reality. Caitlyn Clark isn't just popular, she's undeniable, and no amount of spin can change that. Let's start with the players who've been in the league for years, some of whom are now throwing shade publicly and privately. These are women who fought tooth and nail to elevate the WNBA, only to see Clark walk in and immediately command center stage. And that stings. But here's what they're not saying. Clark's spotlight is not taking anything away from them. It's shining on all of them.
The WNBA Draft and All-Star Game demolished their viewership records with Caitlyn Clark. The Diana Taurasi draft drew 600,000. It was the most watched draft ever. Caitlyn Clark's draft drew nearly 2.5 million. 374% increase of viewership. Fever quadrupled ticket sales after drafting Clark. Washington and Indiana set the single game attendance record of 20,711 on September 19 Capital One Arena. The WNBA's average attendance last year was 9,807 fans, up 48%. And keep in mind, that was really one person that added those 3,000 fans on average.
Her presence has done what years of advocacy couldn't: put women's basketball in front of a mainstream audience. She's brought the kind of attention that networks can't ignore and that sponsors are willing to pay for. And now, thanks to her, the entire league is eating better. Ticket sales are up, merchandise is up, social media engagement is exploding. Every player, even the critics, are benefiting from this wave, even if they refuse to acknowledge it. But that hasn't stopped the attacks. From fake rivalries to passive-aggressive interviews, the effort to discredit Clark has been nonstop.
The league wasn't ready for her last year. They just weren't prepared. Yeah. She was prepared.
She's had a full offseason now to rest.
No. She's going to be great. The league just didn't know what to do.
Get the MVP tickets in, just bet them to win the championship. It's fun. And then you get to watch all her games.
This one blew up. I don't know who this person is, but they said all Caitlyn Clark has done is be white.
A lot of people who aren't fans of the Indiana Fever or don't want to see this happening, they're mad about it, but they're also not realizing that all of the other teams will also be on national TV.
One of the loudest talking points? That she's overhyped. That she's only getting this attention because the media decided she would. As if networks are in the habit of gambling millions of dollars on someone who doesn't deliver. Let's break that lie apart. Caitlyn Clark didn't ask for 41 nationally televised games. She earned them. The networks saw the numbers. They saw the sellouts. They saw the demand. And they made the only decision that made sense. Put her in front of as many eyes as possible. This is business, not charity, and Clark is good for business. But the frustration doesn't stop with media narratives.
This is the national broadcast schedule against the Sky. It's an ABC broadcast network television game. New York Liberty. It's a CBS game. These are all going to be big rated games. CBS against the Sky. ABC against the Liberty. Here's Asia Wilson right here in the Aces on 622 on ESPN. Right here, ABC, Dallas Wings. All the Indiana Fever versus Sky games are on big networks. One of these games is going to hit 3 million viewers this year.
Some fans, especially those loyal to rival players, have taken the criticism to a personal level. They claim Clark fans aren't real basketball fans. They say people are tuning in just for the hype. But here's the truth. Every league grows when it finds a superstar. Every sport elevates when one player brings in casual viewers and turns them into diehard fans.
WNBA's attendance had a record-breaking high in 20 years with a total of 2.3 million fans attending games. You know what the increase was from 2024 to 2023 in attendance? 48%. That's massive. That's the Caitlyn Clark effect.
Phenomenon, yeah.
If Caitlyn Clark gets injured, it's over with. Tom.
Every single one of you WNBA players, you better pray that Caitlyn Clark doesn't get injured because she's keeping your league afloat.
That's what LeBron did, what Mahomes did, what Serena did. And now Clark is doing the same for the WNBA. And yes, there are racial and political undercurrents in the backlash too. People questioning why Clark gets praise for things others were criticized for. That conversation is real, but it's also being misused by some to tear her down rather than address the actual issue. That greatness should be recognized regardless of background.
And what's killing me is it's the fans that are demanding that these players make more money, but they don't want to support the very player that's causing that money to be made. They can't stand her. We know why. We watched the poor young lady get demolished last year.
And Clark's greatness? It's measurable, visible, and impossible to ignore. The uncomfortable truth for the haters is this. Caitlyn Clark is raising the floor for the entire league. Without her, the WNBA doesn't have 6 teams moving to larger venues. Without her, the TV ratings don't break records. Without her, teams aren't selling out back-to-back games. She's not replacing anyone. She's amplifying everyone. But the louder she shines, the more some will try to dim her. And yet, every time they try, Clark responds the same way. Not with words, not with drama, but with dominance. She plays her game, breaks their records, and leaves their noise in the dust.
The Indiana Fever is America's team. The haters, by the time this season is over, their heads are going to have exploded already. They're going to be so angry by the end of this WNBA season. It's going to be hilarious watching the daily meltdown.
Because while they whine about attention, she's out here earning every second of it. What's happening with Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever isn't just a hot streak, it's a transformation. But as the league basks in the glow of sold-out arenas and record-shattering viewership, there's one question that can't be ignored. Is the WNBA ready for this kind of spotlight?
The Indiana Fever will have more nationally televised games this season than the last 2 WNBA champions. Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever get the most airtime because they're America's team, baby. Deal with it. Slows. Growing the game doesn't mean focusing on one player and her toxic MAGA cult fans. As for Caitlyn Clark, the player,
because this surge isn't just changing how the Fever are viewed, it's redefining the entire league. Clark's presence has turned routine games into marquee events. Teams are upgrading venues. Networks are fighting for broadcast rights. Even rival franchises are profiting just by sharing the court with her. She's not replacing anyone. She's elevating everyone. And yet, some voices inside the league aren't cheering. There's resistance. Players who feel overshadowed, media figures who dismiss her as overhyped, league veterans who question if this wave is sustainable.
most influential female athletes right now. Coco Gauff, 10. Juju Watkins, number 9. Cameron Brent, 8. Paige Beckers, number 7. Sabrina Ionescu, number 6. Asia Wilson. So Asia's not going to be happy either. Jakari Richardson was number 4. Simone Biles, number 3, right here. I can't quite get past the fact that Simone Biles is behind Angel Reese. Caitlyn Clark, she ran away with number 1. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number 1. Caitlyn Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlyn Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105% compared to games without her, while road games featuring her Indiana Fever see an 87% increase in opponent home attendance. Her rookie debut sparked a staggering 200% jump in WNBA viewership, while Fever home games drew a league-high 186,000 fans last season, a 265% increase from 2023.
But here's the truth. Caitlyn Clark is doing what the WNBA has dreamed of for decades, turning women's basketball into must-watch entertainment. This isn't just about one player's rise. It's about whether the WNBA is willing to embrace a future built around visibility, excitement, and undeniable star power.
Now you got universities trying to defend Angel Reese and make her out as the victim. Newly published study from Rice University and the University of Illinois at Chicago takes a data-driven look at one of the most polarizing sports controversies in recent memory, the Angel Reese versus Caitlyn Clark debate from the 2023 NCAA Championship. During the title game between LSU and the University of Iowa, Caitlyn Clark, the Iowa star guard, made a now famous "you can't see me" hand gesture, a taunt originally popularized by wrestler John Cena. Without much controversy, however, when LSU's Angel Reese made the same gesture toward Clark in the closing moments of the game, the reaction was starkly different. Reese was immediately labeled as classless and unsportsmanlike by some media personalities and fans, sparking a nationwide discussion about double standards in sports, race, and gender. Now a new study quantifies what many already suspected. Public and media reactions to Reese and Clark were not just different, but radicalized. Before, during, and after the game to unpack the racial dynamics at play. The study found that Clark was largely celebrated. Reese was disproportionately criticized, often with racial undertones.
Because Clark has done her part. She's changed the game. Now the league has to decide, are they going to rise with her or get left behind? There was a time when the Indiana Fever couldn't fill seats, when national networks barely mentioned the WNBA, when players worked twice as hard for half the recognition. But that era ended the moment Caitlyn Clark stepped onto the court. Now the Fever are the #1 team in the United States. Records are falling, arenas are overflowing.
The association, they gave us a gym that I paid for, not entirely, but they took money out of my check and I paid for it.
You better get the fucking full usage of that.
Man, I got hot tub, cold tub, weight room, full court basketball room. I walk in today, I'm on one side working out, Caitlyn Clark on the other side.
Really?
I look at myself, there you go, 2 fucking legends, Patty.
Did you say what's up?
You know I say what's up, but I'm not the type to say what's up to interrupt your workout because I don't like people to interrupt mine. She can shoot the shit out of it.
And the WNBA assist leader this past year.
She can shoot the shit out the ball.
She's a great shooter.
And she's one of those workout people, got to think, anytime I hit the court, I got to hit that bike. I'm older now, so I got to get on that bike and stroll for a couple 5, 6, 7 minutes. So while I'm strolling through the park, I'm looking at her shoot it. And she's one of those shooters where if you know as a gym rat, you guys know, like, damn, bro, why you throw that pass bad? Give me the ball in my chest. I'm like, oh, she's a gangster also.
She's lighting people up.
Throw me the ball the way I want it.
What drill was it? What drill was she running?
I don't know. She was doing a 2 in a row corner wing. And if you miss, you have to go back to the next spot. And if you missed again, you have to go back to the starting spot. She had a nice drill. I'm literally still in it.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right. So she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
The entire landscape of women's sports is shifting, and it's all happening in real time. While critics search for ways to downplay her rise, while rivals scramble to catch up, Clark just keeps going, breaking barriers, rewriting history, and pulling an entire league into the spotlight with her. This isn't hype. This isn't luck. This is what greatness looks like when it refuses to be ignored. And if you think this is the peak, you haven't seen anything yet.